Hello and welcome everyone to another Comic Movie Marks video.
A classic Comic Movie Marks video? What? Get the
Sit the down.
A popular video of ours was kind of going back and seeing the aftermath after the first Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer or teaser, whatever Zack wants to call it these days, I guess. But once again, we'll go back and let's see some of the aftermath after the official trailer was dropped last week.
I don't know why it's not in full quality. At least on this one that I picked, it's got black bars.
Yes, it's 4:3.
Why?
I don't know, but it is. There was reasons. I don't know.
Why? It's 2021, dude. Like, why?
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye then.
So since people can't find things to really complain about this trailer, a lot of people are picking on the aspect ratio. Even someone like Matt Goldberg here, you can really capture the epic scope of the story by cutting off the sides of the image. Now this is clearly a troll comment, and the fact that we're reading it, we're kind of falling into it. I completely understand that, but there's just something I want to point out. What Snyder did is that he's just not doing anything. That's what's kind of funny about this. People are so used to the widescreen. You even watch that Angry Joe clip and he just doesn't understand why it's not in widescreen. We have the OK Boomer, but I'm thinking now we need OK Millennial because people just can't understand why it's not in widescreen. Film is already naturally in a 4:3 square. What happens when people do stuff on film is they have to crop it. They have to stretch it out. We're not losing anything on the side. We're not losing width. We're gaining vertically.
How did 16:9 become the standard aspect ratio whenever all of these aspect ratios exist? Well, back in the day, movies started to come out in widescreen and some movies would come out in kind of full screen. Well, if you didn't watch it at home with the correct TV, it wouldn't look right because it'd be the wrong aspect ratio. So they decided to create a format that sat somewhere in the middle so it would look good with both formats. So a 16:9 could play the 4.3 aspect ratio with the bars on the left and the right, and it could also play the really widescreen images with the bars on the top and the bottom. So the reason they made 16:9 the standard is because it could basically play every aspect ratio and still look good.
Exactly. He's not cropping anything. He's actually adding to it. If you are interested in the artist's viewpoint and how they want a movie to be shown, this is it right here. He's not cropping anything out. He's actually giving you more of what he intended.
When I originally shot the film, let me go back. When we were working on Batman v Superman, we shot a ton of the sequences in IMAX, right? And watching, BVS, and those sequences came on, and I was like, holy shit, that is fucking crazy. It really got me sort of obsessed with the big square, right? And then because all the movies were getting more widescreen, like more anamorphic, thinner, like this. And I was like, fuck that. That's the movie as photographed on the day was shot in a big full app 1:3 aspect ratio. So that was how it started. But I really started just compositionally really falling in love with that concept because, superheroes tend to be a sort of, as figures, they tend to be more, less horizontal. Maybe Superman when he's flying, or when he's standing, he's more, he's more of a vertical. And you can just tell when you look at the crop, and then when you look at the kind of full app version, it's a completely different sort of aesthetic. It's just got a different quality and one that is unusual. No one's doing that, and it's like its own, 100% its own thing. And it, whatever aspect ratio of the theatrical film was released in, a lot of the work we're doing is trying to restore the full frame. It's like literally a restoration project at this point, because there were certain scenes that were just fucked up by the crop, so we have to kind of fix it a little bit. So what happens when you actually film the motion picture, and this is true regardless, if you shoot Super 35 or any open aperture, you basically have underneath, unless it's anamorphic, underneath the image is this size. So this box is what is photographed by the camera, the big box. And then when you see a movie on TV, they just put these black bars over that, unless it's shot digitally, and then it is only there's nothing above or below. But if it's shot on film, like this movie was, there's extra information up here and up here, or down here and up here. So I had hoped that one day people would be able to see the entire motion picture. So
making it widescreen would be adjusting it from its original format. He's just not doing that. That's what's kind of funny about this. And if you're really just bugged by those black bars, you can easily adjust it on your TV.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
That's right, we're gonna revisit our buddy Ryan over at Screen Crush. Ryan has definitely stepped up his game when it comes to Zack Snyder Justice League breakdowns. Ryan, you know we're out there. We saw the comment that Screen Crush left on one of our videos where we tore you kind of a new one. I don't know if it was actually directed towards us or actually the original video, but basically they said it was a piece of shit, either our video or their video. Not quite sure, it's kind of odd how they phrased it, but we know you're out there. We know you're listening to us. And we can see some of the improvements that you've made.
And then we see this mural of Darkseid. Now, if you're not familiar, Darkseid was Thanos before Thanos existed. Strange Crystal could be a link to Wonder Woman 1984. This is most likely the Chaos Crystal. Basically, it's an incredibly powerful MacGuffin in DC Comics. The movie is going to show us the deleted scenes where she actually goes into the temple and sees this mural of Uxas. Who's Uxas? Well, he's actually proto-Darkseid. He's Darkseid before Darkseid existed. And you can see on the circle in front of him, this crystal is the combined mother boxes like we've already seen in Justice League.
I'm proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.
You even seem a little enthusiastic in this as well. I'll give you that. The energy is high. You're almost giving it 100, as the kids would say.
The first thing that I want to mention is that there's a lot of footage in this trailer that appears to be reused from another movie called Justice League from 4 years ago. I'm sorry for that. Credit to Vic Digital on Twitter for that joke.
An astute observation has led to laughter. We are laughing.
Pretty much every shot, if not completely new, it was different in a way, whether it be the color correction or just the look of the entire thing, that makes me truly believe this is a drastically, vastly different movie.
This looks like honestly like a new movie. Like,
it does.
There's none of those scenes in there that we've seen from the OG Justice League, but it's honestly like a brand.
We're not
new.
even relating this to anything. Like,
There was so many stuff in there I saw that I was like, that was brand new. Yeah.
Right. I will say I'm impressed with the trailer, but it looks like a whole new movie to me. Like that's just like I don't feel like this is reshot stuff. Like I just feel like this is. I don't understand what's the problem in saying like we redid Justice League if it's good. Like I don't understand why it gotta keep being all this footage old. You know what I'm saying? Like it's old. You know we just.
Referring to the nightmare sequence from Batman vs. Superman. Personally, this is my favorite part of that movie, even better than this.
Save Martha.
What year is it?
Oh, look at that. Another Martha joke. Ha! God damn it.
If you remember, this is one area of the theatrical cut that showed Henry Cavill with his rubbery upper lip, indicating that this was one section that had massive reshoots. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think this battle is going to occur, just like we saw, except Lois Lane is going to get killed and Superman is going to go completely nuts. Then we're going to see the nightmare sequence actually come to fruition. We're going to see the whole thing happen. We're going to see the Justice League in this alternate reality trying to form a rebellion against Superman.
Wrong.
In the last couple videos, Ryan, you've been pretty fixated on this fact that you think Superman is evil at the Heroes Park fight just for the sake of being evil. That somehow the nightmare vision of Superman is tied to the Heroes Park version of Superman. Well, Brian, that's just not quite it. He just doesn't know who the hell he is at this point. And Lois is not gonna die at Heroes Park. Snyder has already told us.
Let's go.
While there is some out there like Ryan who is enthusiastic and trying his darndest to give you that correct information, there are some out there that just want to see the world burn. We're not going to say what article this is from, but let's just say there is a shitty Johnny Knoxville movie based off this publication.
We get news might be a little slow, and we understand that not everyone likes Snyder's movies, but to be so condescending and really just an asshole is completely unnecessary. Just give it up. We have the Snyder Cut. You can go cry in a corner if you want to.
Or why even write about the topic in general? That's what bothers me. Obviously, you don't really give a crap about this, and it comes off in your article that you clearly think history is being rewritten because the winners are the fans, and the fans are dictating how this is being presented.
It's bad enough that this gentleman references certain things like the fact that the Justice League trailer unfolds like a joke. He's trying to make some sort of comparison between the way that you format a joke and Zack Snyder's Justice League. He even adds things like the quixotic journey of Snyder and his fans to release the cut of a widely panned movie.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
He also, again, compares the MCU to the DCEU, talking about how the MCU is comedic and bright, and Snyder built a gray and brown type universe. Of course he would. The coup de grace is basically saying how Snyder's version of Justice League is really not going to be any different from the 2017 version, but that $30 million that were invested is going to be mostly cosmetic. Even after talking about that this will be only cosmetic, he then contradicts himself in the very next paragraph when he quotes Zack Snyder saying, "There's no chance on earth I would use a single shot after I left the movie. I would destroy that movie." He uses that quote, but then basically says, no, they're gonna be the same thing.
I would destroy the movie. I would set it on fire before I would use a single frame that I did not photograph. I literally would blow that fucking thing up.
So this quixotic article is quite a failure. And we live in a society where dumbasses like Charles here can write articles like this, and hopefully no one actually sees it or calls him out on his shit because he doesn't pay attention. Well, we're here for you, Charles. Again, we can help you out, but you are so far behind on what the actual facts are. I think the most common casual movie watcher on Twitter knows more about what's going on than you do. It's fascinating to read this, and yet you actually got paid. History is written by the winners, and the winners will definitely forget you. It turns out we got some great news. We live in the United States, so we have HBO Max. So this was never an issue for us, but personally for me, I have been trying my best to find out as much information for our friends outside of the States to keep them informed as much as possible to when and how they will be able to watch and purchase Zack Snyder's Justice League, because the last thing I want to see is Zack Snyder's Justice League being pirated, because that doesn't help Zack. That doesn't help us for potential sequels if the movie gets pirated, because I completely understand from a person outside of the States having to wait months or not even knowing when they would be able to see it, and knowing how social media connects us all together, the movie would be completely ruined for you. So this was actually a very important thing for me. Zack Snyder, in one of his last posts, that there was going to be a big announcement about the worldwide release. I think it had a lot to do with these numbers that we saw when the trailer was released. Just look at the numbers and look how much this jumped. This is even bigger than Z-Day, November 17th, 2019.
The momentum is there. Hopefully, the studio is starting to realize it is there. This is fantastic news for fans who want to see this movie. And to echo the same sentiments as Matt, I was concerned of the amount that this movie will be pirated, but at the same time, I wouldn't blame you if you had no other way to watch it except for much later. So now the fact that it's coming out on the same exact day as the United States release is huge.
For our friends in Australia, it was announced that it would be showing on March 18th on Binge and Foxtel, I believe that is. I don't know. I don't speak Australian.
Well then, good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
One of the significant parts of this announcement was saying that it would be on March 18th, 2021 at 6 p.m. Australian time. Quick maths.
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning, if we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3%, I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie.
That would actually mean that 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 17th of March is when we will be getting it. So then wherever your time zone is from there, work it backwards or forward, depending on where you're at. So that is very significant. And that is at least what's happening with Australia. A lot of the other things said that you're looking at whatever your video on demand service is. So that could be Amazon Prime, if that's in your area. According to a lot of things I've seen out in the UK, it was gonna say Amazon Prime or Sky. Those are your options that I'm seeing as of now, but nothing official has been said yet. Right now, the only countries left out of the mix is China, Japan, and France.
But keep on the lookout for further details. A part of the official announcement was that distribution options were going to be through PVOD, PST, EST, SVOD, TVOD, HBO Linear, and HBO Go, ABCD, EFG, all that good stuff. It even mentions the possibility of a local TV provider you could potentially be able to watch this on. So a lot of different options for you in your country.
So make sure you check out our Twitter or our community page. As soon as we get information about any country outside of the United States, we will post it in those two spots. And we'll try Facebook and Instagram as well, but yeah.
What's up with that?
All right, this will wrap up our episode for the year.
I hope you enjoyed this classic and retro Comic Movie Marks video. Yes, we are kicking it old school today. Be sure to check us out on social media. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We've been more interactive on YouTube on the community page, so be sure to check us out on there. We do have a Patreon as well as a YouTube membership if you are interested in contributing to this beautiful, lovely show. And as always, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for the notifications so you're notified when we go live, when we drop a new hot show.
In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.